The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to John.
Glory to you, Lord.
There was a wedding at Cana in Galilee, and the mother of Jesus was there. Jesus and his disciples were also invited to the wedding. When the wine ran short, the mother of Jesus said to him, "They have no wine." And Jesus said to her, "Woman, how does your concern affect me? My hour has not yet come." His mother said to the servers, "Do whatever he tells you." Now there were 6 stone water jars there for the Jewish ceremonial washings, each holding 20 to 30 gallons. Jesus told them, "Fill the jars with water." So they filled them to the brim. Then he told them, "Draw some out now and take it to the head waiter." So they took it. And when the head waiter tasted the water that had become wine without knowing where it came from, although the servers who had drawn the water knew, the head waiter called the bridegroom and said to him, "Everyone serves good wine first, and then when the people have drunk freely, an inferior one. But you have kept the good wine until now." Jesus did this as the beginning of his signs at Cana in Galilee, and so revealed his glory. And his disciples began to believe in him. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ. In 12-step circles, there is a big distinction made between imitation and identification. Imitation is pretending to be someone else. It is going through the motions, which can be a good beginning. Fake it until you make it, as they say in AA. Identification is something different. Identification is when who I am becoming, is shaped, guided, transformed by my relationship with another. Identification is what happened to Paul in the letter to the Galatians. I have been crucified with Christ, yet I live, no longer I, but Christ lives in me. Insofar as I now live in the flesh, I live by faith in the Son of God, who has loved me and given himself up for me. You become a disciple of Jesus when you begin to spend your life identifying with him. Martin Luther King identified with Christ. He wrote, "If physical death is the price that I must pay to free my white brothers and sisters from a permanent death of the spirit, then nothing can be more redemptive." With this in mind, we can consider today's gospel. This is the day Jesus consented to his physical death to give us life to the fullest. The first sign of what is to come is given. In little Mediterranean towns, weddings affected everyone because everyone was related to everyone else by blood or marriage. Celebrations lasted for days, and you had no idea how many folks were going to show up during those days. The wedding banquet became an image for the time of the Messiah, a time of harmony, bounty, and communal celebration, when God will be Israel's bridegroom. The wedding banquet is the I have a dream moment, a vision of a beloved community where everyone is at the table, where everyone has enough, not just for survival, but to thrive. St. Paul connected married love with the mystery of Christ's love for his bride, the church. Today, the bridegroom is present, enjoying himself, delighted to be among us, as we hear in Isaiah, as the bridegroom rejoices in his bride, so shall your God rejoice in you. Mary is present, ever sensitive to the needs of the family, wanting to be sure the celebration goes well and the wine doesn't run out. Jesus is rather testy. Woman, what concern is that to you and me? My hour has not yet come. Now this is understandable. Every son at some point needs to push away from his mother and establish himself as a responsible male. But there is something more. Jesus calls Mary woman, as Eve was called before the fall. Eve was taken from the side of Adam, and now the new Adam has been born from the side of the new Eve. She now sees that the time for him to be born into the larger world has come. The first Eve tempted Adam away from the divine plan. The second Eve gives him a shove to fulfill it. How important in all of our lives that someone who knows us and loves us sees what we do not yet see in ourselves and gives us a helpful shove to step up to our destiny. Jesus hadn't planned on facing this day so soon, but today he sets in motion all that will lead to the hour, to the sign. Now water into wine, that day wine into blood, blood enough to redeem the whole world. The wedding banquet of the Lamb that was slain will have begun. Beneath every sacrament is this great sign. No greater love than this, than to lay down one's life for one's friends. Mary tells the servants, as she continues to tell us, do whatever he tells you. And there is no refusing her. He quietly turns water into wine, the superabundant, absolutely free gift of wine, the inebriating spirit that warms the hearts and unites people in joyful celebration. Like life itself, this brimming wine is a gift from God. It is real, earthy, abundant, and good. Wine, like life, is meant to be poured out, shared, tasted, savored together. The glory of God is revealed in the flesh, in real people, in real events, in all the gritty and exuberant moments of faithful love, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health. God loves being with us. God loves it when we enjoy one another and love one another as God has loved us. Though in this world it will cost him and it will cost us everything. Martin Luther King, in his time and his place, drank fully of the blood poured out for all, especially the least. And it cost him everything. It led him, as it must us, to disciplined, nonviolent resistance to injustice, to advocacy, and to love for those who oppose us. Our church and our nation can be redeemed from the permanent death of the spirit that threatens us, fed by liars and fueled by resentment and fear. We are at the wedding banquet. We are the beloved community. Here the wine never runs out. It's up to us to identify with Christ and give ourselves that all may come to the banquet of life.